watching KTAL News Now. Here's Brittany DeFran with your Midday News Break.
Welcome to KTAL News Now. I'm Brittany DeFran. Your Midday News Break starts right now.
Based on information in this investigation, the Washington County Circuit Court issued 2 felony arrest warrants. One for Dawn Elaine Coleman, 40, of Shreveport, Louisiana. Another for Dewan, and I'm not sure about the pronunciation on this, Ludi Anderson. Dewan Ludi Anderson, 37, of Atlanta, Georgia, who is the mother of the deceased child.
We are starting with this tough story here. Dawn Coleman from Shreveport was arrested in San Francisco Wednesday. She's charged with the death of Cairo Jordan. An autopsy found no physical injuries to the child or drugs in his system and listed the cause of death as an electrolyte imbalance that caused an intestinal infection. Investigators are still searching for the child's mother, Dewan Anderson, who is also suspected of his death. Court documents say the mother posted on social media that she believed her son was a demon. So far, Anderson is charged with a fugitive felony warrant. NBC6 has reached out to the Indiana Police Department's Public Information Office, but we have not heard back yet. And over in Bowie County, she's been found guilty of capital murder. Now the jury will decide whether Taylor Parker will receive the death penalty. More information and details are coming out day by day. On Wednesday, jurors learned she wrote a letter to the FBI offering her services. The letter was never sent, but investigators did find it in her cell. Parker wrote she wanted to help the FBI solve crimes. She wanted to help them solve crimes, and she said that she wanted to do that to avoid the death penalty. She wrote that she is manipulative and can play sexual mind games with both males and females. You can read these details and how everything unfolded in that courtroom on KTALnews.com. Now let's take a look here at some continuing coverage as the former president of the Bossier City Police Union pleads guilty to fraud. That's right, BJ Sanford appeared before a judge Wednesday in federal court. As part of his plea deal he will only be charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit fraud against the U.S. and 1 count of obtaining controlled substances by fraud. He faces up to 9 years in prison and will have to pay a $250,000 fine. He will stay in custody until he is sentenced in February. And here's a Money Matters topic of the day for you. President Biden spoke Wednesday on the administration's efforts to eliminate what is so-called junk fees
unfair and
to save money for American
the
families.
hardest, especially
the
low-income
president said
folks
these fees
and
are
people of
things
color.
like credit card late fees, overdraft fees, bounce check fees. It seems like they pile up, and President Biden is taking note of that. They will all be examined by the administration, by his administration, and the federal government as well will work to notify these companies of these issues and see if these fees can be eliminated for good. And that leads us to our question of the day. All right, going to give you a moment to take down this QR code you see right here on your screen. Let's jump right into it. Today's question of the day is, will the Biden administration's plan to eliminate junk fees benefit the economy? Tell us here, yes or no. We want to hear from you. It's definitely really interesting. I mean, we all have faced this at one point in time. I know my issue sometimes is overdraft fees and forgetting to check my account balance. So, we've all faced these kind of so-called junk fees at one point of our time. So it's very interesting. You can definitely put your input here because we want to hear from you. All right, don't go anywhere. Coming up, we will have some creepy crawly guests. Stick with us to find out. Welcome back to KTAL News Now. I'm Brittany DeFran. All right, so today we're going to be doing something a little bit different for your midday news break. We have our very first guest with us here, and I'm so happy to introduce the park manager of the Walter B. Jacobs Memorial Nature Park, Rusty Scarborough. Hey, Rusty, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us here. And so you've brought a little guest with you today. Can you tell us a little bit about the guest you brought?
I can. I brought our largest spider that occurs here in Louisiana. This is the Texas brown tarantula. So they grow to about 4 inches in diameter and can be quite long-lived, up to 20 plus years, and they might be roaming around in your neighborhood.
Don't tell me that. I'm like crawling in my skin right now. But thank you so much for bringing them and being able to share a little bit about this native tarantula. Can you tell us a little bit more about the native tarantula to Louisiana and the Arkansas area?
Sure. They are a solitary hunter. They kind of roam around. They don't create a web like we think of spider webs. They do produce silk, and they might line their burrow that they dig, but they don't catch insects in a web like we think normal spiders do. They're kind of an ambush predator. They lie in wait and then jump out and grab the insect that they're hunting for. And they are very good predators in that way. They, as I said, they line their burrow with silk, and they also create a silk hammock to lay their eggs in and have their babies in.
All right, very interesting there, some new information. So can you tell us a little bit about maybe what they eat?
By and large, they eat insects. So they might eat smaller animals like mice or things like that, but most of their diet is insects.
All right, it's super cool to learn that too. And now, can you tell us a little bit, and I think this is the question maybe everyone is maybe wondering, now, are they dangerous?
Well, all spiders are venomous, and they do have large fangs in the front of their head there, and they do produce a toxin, but tarantula bite would be somewhat like a bee sting or a wasp sting. We only have 2 dangerous spiders in our area, and that's the brown recluse and the black widow. Those are the ones we really need to know what they look like and stay away from them, because they do cause some issues.
All right, and before we go here, is there anything exciting happening with the park coming soon?
Absolutely. We have some great news. We have been budgeted to tear down our existing 46-year-old building and rebuild a $9 million, 13,000 square foot museum. We'll have 4,000 square feet of interactive exhibits.
That's so awesome that you guys have some exciting stuff coming your way. And if you guys want to learn more about these tarantulas, you can head on over to ktalnews.com for more information. Thanks so much for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day. See you guys.